All right. I will play. Let's mix it up. Let's play. Let's play in English because I was asked about the English. Not something I specifically play as white very often. Um, but the whole point is I don't necessarily need to know. In 10 minutes you're 300? Nice, Boozy. Very nice. Had you been playing earlier, I might have caught you in the rated pool. All right. So they are going to go e6. That's fair enough. I will probably take more of the center, and I'll probably just go d4. Why? Because this is kind of transposing into something else. Blitz, you don't want to talk about it. Well, Blitz is much harder than Rapid, of course, because you just don't have the same time to think. And that's where pattern recognition comes in, of course. Just the more you play certain positions, the more you recognize them. The more you understand the plans quicker, the more you do not. Or some people do not, I should say. How am I feeling? I feel normal, pretty normal, bro. I have been more than 700 on numerous occasions. I'm very likely just on the chess.com homepage, I think. All right. Knight f6, what do we do? Well, let's do what our opponent did to us earlier and see how this person handles it. Let's just play bishop f6. Sorry, bishop g5. I actually don't think this is the best move. I probably would have gone knight c3 or knight f3. Circumferenceable. 500 elo has an expectation to win 0.3% against 1500. That's probably sounds about right, yeah. Huge difference statistically. That is correct. And it's sadly enough, it's the same thing like somebody at my rating and somebody 1,000 points higher rated than me. It's probably pretty similar statistics, I assume. Of course, I guess, yeah, blunders are probably what accounts for a lot of that little minuscule percentage. Like if a 3,000 blunders a queen against me, they still probably beat me, but not necessarily. And same thing with the 500 and 1,500. People don't necessarily always realize how drastic the gap is until they challenge me and we do the auto balance odds and I don't have a queen. And even less. So Boozy, so that's why it depends like on who I'm playing. If I'm playing somebody at 500 at 2,000 plus, I'm probably just going to attack them, honestly. All right. They go here. Would I take this? Yes, no, why? I will not take this. Why? Because it's going to be replaced by another piece. So it's actually not really helping me if I do this. If they maybe go like h6 at some stage, maybe I consider it. But here, it's in my best interest to actually just develop my pieces and castle. So I can go here. I can go here. Could also consider e4, e5, but before I start attacking, I want my king to be safe too. I'm probably just going to go knight f3. A3 is also a move. In fact, actually, maybe a3 is a better move. I don't know. I'm actually going to just develop. I'm not going to overcalculate like I've been trying to say it's not necessary all the time. Just try to play safe. Try to develop. Sometimes you will end up working working through certain positions. You will play something and it may not work out, but then the next time you play the position, you will learn from that. So a loss is still a win in some ways. Here, I'm just going to continue developing. Could go e3, which allows me to get the bishop out this way. I might go g3. I kind of like g3. No, you know what? I'm actually going to bring this knight out. I'm just going to develop like this. Nothing overly complicated once again. So knight c3 also supports e4. Not necessary yet. If they go h6, by the way, I will then trade the knight, but there's no reason to do it right now. And I think a lot of people kind of jump the gun on this. I used to do it quite frequently, honestly. So I think they're trying to play d5. In that case, I will probably likely just go e4. e4 to prevent this. And actually, what they may think is I might be going there, but I could also consider e5 at this stage. If that happens, I think I will just play e4. I really don't see the reason not to. Maybe they consider this, but then I take, and then after take, I take, and after take, I can go back. After rook goes there, I can go here, and then actually, maybe it's good for them. I actually don't know. All right, now here's a move I would consider. So now am actually thinking about taking this. Why am I thinking about taking this? Because after I take this, if they take back with the bishop and I go e5, it's just winning a tempo. They have to then move the bishop again. Although they can then move it there. I could also do absolutely nothing. Could take first. I can go e5 and then c5. I don't think that's good in the long run. They'll probably open it up. It is pretty important for me to castle pretty soon because I'm not sure if you guys can assess the danger. Like if I just took this way and then the rook ended up on e8 and I was still not castled, that could cost me the game. Don't think it will happen. I'm probably just going to start with this actually. No, I'm not. I'm going to take this. And then I will likely just take. Sorry, likely just push. Pushing is actually probably not the best move either. No, it's not the best move. I'm going to take once. If they take this way, it's going to be good for me if I push. If they take this way, actually, it's still going to be good for me. So I think after taking once, pushing is going to be very strong. Then I'm obviously going to need two castles. So bishop e2, bishop d3, I'm not sure which one yet, and then castles. Should all be gravy. All right, here I'm not going to take back. Probably a good move to take back. But if I go e5 and then they want to actually get this bishop out this way, they're going to have to go f6. Then again, maybe I do want to take. No, I don't want to take. Sorry, I've just explained why not. Because of rook e8. So I'm actually going to go here first. And then if they go here or here, maybe I consider taking it and developing. If they go back, I could consider a3. I have delayed my development a little bit. They are castled before me, which is not ideal. But I don't see how they exploit it yet. So they're going to go there. I think I will simply go bishop e2. Why am I going bishop e2 and not d3? I don't know. I don't feel like calculating if they have any tactics. It's very unlikely they do, by the way. But this is pinned. This was, sorry, pinned here. This pawn is now no longer pinned. So we'll see what they get up to. I think now they are going to just simply move the bishop. Depending on where they move it, will depend on what I do, of course. Like 50-50, regardless of what they do, I'm just going to castle now. Okay, so they're going there. Am I going to rush to take this bishop? Probably not. If I take now, they bring the queen out. Then after castles, I do have to be concerned about bishop h3. Why? Because my rook will be on f1. And wait, no, that's not. Sorry, yes. If the queen was on g5, bishop on h3, and the rook is on f1, so I don't get checkmated, one of the moves I will have to likely play is actually g3, which would then lose in exchange. So I do not want to have to deal with that. I could castle first. I don't see any downsides of just castling now. And I think I will do that. Castles, bishop g4, probably h3 in that position. I don't think they have the firepower to sacrifice yet. I'm not going to overly calculate though. Hi, you're at 1100? Very nice, dude. Congratulations, man. Pretty good, sir. Anyway, this person is playing pretty well. No huge blunders at this stage. Hopefully I do not blunder too badly either. Okay, so they're going f6, and I'm not sure if they realize how weakening that can potentially be. Here I will likely just take the bishop. Why am I likely going to take the bishop? Main reason I'm likely going to take the bishop here is because after I take, they can only recapture the f-pawn, and then my center is still pretty solid, so they will also be left with the weaknesses. So in this case, I will take. The queen can now no longer come to g5. Oh, hi, bro. I know you're kidding, brother. I'm sure some people have, but it is very good, sir. But you should only compare yourself to you anyway. Just enjoy the game and have fun, my friendo. Don't worry about what ratings other people have reached in a certain time frame. Yes. Of course it's good. You know, it's definitely good. But so would be 800 or 500. It's not always about how quickly you progress. Sometimes it's about long-term goals. Fair enough. Hi, fair enough, sir. All right, let me continue with this. So you can see now they had to actually take with the pawn. So it was a bit of a blunder that they went f6. You know, multiple reasons. You usually don't want to go f6. It does quite drastically weaken the king. Or f3 in the same reasoning, I guess. But yes, after this, the main reason I didn't take straight away was because I did not want the queen to replace the bishop because of potential ideas threatening my king. I would have very likely been able to prevent it. But now they just have this pawn chilling on g5. Many, many, many ways I could probably attack here, by the way. I'm not going to go f3, bishop f3, because maybe they push, supported by their bishop. What should I do here? I don't know. I think I'm actually just going to likely line this up towards their king. I could also go this way. You know what? I could even, if I want to, just trade. So many good moves. I could even go f4 if I want to, by the way, but I don't think I will. I might actually make a very interesting move. I might actually go b4, and it looks quite weakening, but at the same time, I really like that I have such a solid central control here, and b4 does prevent c5. So actually, I think I'm going to do this. It's maybe not the ideal move, but I'm going to be curious to see what the computer says afterwards. It kind of has a few reasons. One, you know, if they try to get rid of it, I just go a3. Sorry, a3. But it prevents c5, as if they go there, I take. I just really, really like how restrictive this is for black. So another thing, I could straight up just take this. And then after they take, I can go a3. Yeah, there. But I also don't have to do anything. I think I really like the fact that they've just randomly put their knight on a6, and there's nothing for them to do with that knight after I go a3. $1,500 is not a 2% player, but you mean according to chess.com with active players, I guess. The average club player is quite strong, bro. Let me see. Like I will get destroyed by a lot of players, bro, and I'm, you know, according to chess.com, I'm in like 0.0 something percentile as well. So anyway, so they go b5, which doesn't really help them in any way, as far as I'm aware. They still can't go c5. I would take this way too. I wouldn't want to damage this. Now, if I go bishop d3, they might go g6. What does g6 do? It does weaken h6 and this square, but I'm not sure. To be honest, I actually might play a different move. No, I'm actually going to play bishop d3, but not to attack this. We'll see what happens. Bishop d3 and queen e2 has a bit of a threat. Chippo, I didn't know he was. Cool, maybe he's in there chatting to somebody. After this game, I may see how he's going. Maybe he's clicked on it by accident. You can go in there and ask him, Chippo. Okay, so they played this move. It's not ideal for a few reasons. One, because it straight away just blunders a pawn. I can straight away go like this, and if they take, I can take. The other reason, which I may not even do that, is I may actually just straight away take this, and then I have these beautiful 3 pawns here. Probably this was better, but why calculate? I'm just going to go here and plonk a knight on d6, and this is going to be GG's pretty soon. I will probably get rid of this. If they go here, I could take if I want to, but I think if they go here, I just take. Okay, this is also actually a free pawn. I'll take with the knight. Why am I taking with the knight? Because if they take back, I will then be threatening 2 pieces. This is basically the stage in the game where me simply not blundering has resulted in my opponent blundering. Okay, so they are trying to get rid of this now. Unfortunately, once again, free piece. My piece is still not hanging. If they take this, it's still not going to get the job done. And actually, now I get this beautiful knight on d6, which is not takeable by any of their pieces except for if they want to sacrifice a rook. So they're pretty much cooked now. Queen f3. Okay, so here's, well, they kind of crumbled, unfortunately. Take with the knight, take with the bishop. I think I'll take with the bishop. Maybe they're trying to play fast because I was playing so slowly. I'm not actually quite sure. Maybe they did just kind of fumble with the pressure. Both are reasonable reasons. You know, I could even potentially go queen h5 and sacrifice if they go g6, because bishop takes, h takes, queen takes, and then king has to move. No idea what that does. I can just win it straight away. I think I'll just take it. If they take back, I just win the rook. So the rook was hanging because of my knight. I guess I'm really more tired than I thought. Okay. I'm not sure what they're doing, by the way. This is just pretty bad, I think. I think I'll just take the rook. Sorry. It was actually just... Oh, wait. Sorry. What am I doing? My queen's not even forking it anymore. Bro. I'll have to sleep soon, I think. Alright, let me give a check. No, I'm not even going to give that check. I'm just going to take it. This is what I keep forgetting. Yes, it's at that time where I need to attempt to have a nap. As I'm sure it's very clearly visible. This is, by the way, Boozy, this is what I'm talking about, where it's not purely about calculations, because you end up in a position like this, and I'm hardly even able to calculate. All right, that's just pretty much GG's as well. Hardly can calculate, but somehow I'm still winning. How am I still winning? It's just pattern recognition. Check. Probably going to be a mate very shortly. Check. And now the goal is just, they have way too many things to stalemate them. And I'm literally just giving checks. Check. This is still defended. I probably missed a few mates already, by the way. Check. Not calculating, just making checks. Because I can. As long as it doesn't like blunder my queen, but even then it'll be just winning. Let's go here and threaten a checkmate. There. And then other stuff. Actually, there and there would be a checkmate. No, it wouldn't, because of the rook blocks. Whatever. It's all good. They have to push a pawn or a rook. Okay, this is going to be checkmate in one. Okay. Okay. Do a quick review for a second, and then I'll probably end this stream pretty soon. Hasn't been the longest stream, but yes, I am very tired. It's probably very noticeable. Hey, what's up, Nate? How's it going, bro? How you doing, man? Alright. Normal stuff. Oh, yeah, man, I was on early. My sleeve is cooked, brother. Of course you are, bro. Well, I mean, if you want to play some games or something, I can probably play maybe after this. I was more like, I'm definitely going to end this little speed runny thing here. Actually, no, I should probably try to sleep. I've had like 3 hours, 3 hours, and 5 hours. So, like, I am sleep deprived AF. Yes, I definitely need a nap early again if I can. Yeah, no, I did like a 5-hour stream earlier, and then I had to hop off for a while, but that's why I came back early again. But I started my first stream very early tonight. You gonna get a good sleep later? I bet you will. I bet. Why some pieces are more important than others? Oh, so Boozy, it's usually about how you use them. So probably I'll say that for another time, Boozy, actually. But that is a good question. I'll say it for another time just because it'll probably be a bit of a thing. But a lot of the times it's really about the amount of squares that it's like if you look at a bishop, for example, it's worth 3 points of material, right? I'll just get like very, very simple stuff. A bishop can attack a certain amount of squares and it can move certain ways. Something like a rook, for example, on its optimal squares controls more like, so imagine this rook is over here. This rook would then control, like, sorry, this whole file here, this whole file over here, and like a lot of squares, right? It can also bulldoze through things as well. Bishop on an optimal square does not control, as far as I'm aware, as many squares. So a lot of it's about how many squares it controls, but there are other factors to take into consideration. But it's usually about the amount of squares that it can control. That's why sometimes a bishop and a rook together is very similar in value, depending on the position, of course, to a queen, because a queen is essentially like a rook, you know, and almost a bishop in one, because it goes diagonal and it goes kind of up and down. How not to be bad at chess? You have to find somebody who's not bad at chess, and then hopefully they can answer that. But yes, I'm a little bit cooked at chess and in general. But hopefully that makes sense, Boozy. But there are definitely, if you YouTube that, there are definitely some better explanations than what I've just explained. Yes. Let me quickly go through this review before I forget what I'm doing again. Yes, this is theory. This is obviously kind of book moves at the moment. Here I just developed. Normally I think, yeah, knight c3 would be better, but here's what it is. Just taking the center, taking the bishop. Sorry, the knight. That's why you came to me. Well, I would probably say playing a lot of games and practicing is pretty useful, Flame. Also, I'm not sure, Flame, if you're aware, I'm not actually on my main account here, so this is on my slow run account. Yes, this is on my slow run account. So I'm currently only 375 elos. So I'm not sure what your rating is, but you know, over the next however many days, however long it takes, when I'm streaming, it may not be the only thing I do. I may go back and forth between the accounts, but I will likely be playing a lot of these rapid games against lower rated players until I get to 2000. So let me do this. What's up, Nate? In the chat? I'll come in the chat soon, bro. One sec. Yes, here they tried to pin it. Totally fine, but I just unpin it. Castles, and I bet you the eval is about to jump. Yes, the eval is going to jump. Simply because if I was to capture here, the thing I was looking at, I was concerned about was, let's just say they make, I don't know, some random move, bishop there or something, and I take this. My concern was after it takes, it's unlikely I'm going to fall for this, but if I randomly play something without paying any attention, they would have this, which is threatening a checkmate, although actually my position is still good enough where I just either go here. Maybe if I was in this position, ignore the fact that there's a checkmate on the board. In this position, I would actually, too many pieces to block it. Anyway, some unrealistic, after I've blundered 3 different ways, maybe this is a threat and I have to move this or something. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, cooked, straight cooked. Sorry, here as well, could have taken the knight, but I just figured why not? I'll just see what they do. At this stage, I think once they blundered the pawn, they did kind of self-destruct a little bit here, so. This does sometimes happen when people kind of leave familiar territory. Here, by the way, in my head, I straight up, honestly, too tired to see that this is just hanging. This was my idea, which is hilarious because it was already free, so I could have taken. But yes, pretty straightforward from this point forward. Just take a free queen, give a check, and just proceed to give checks without even calculating. Check, 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 and something is a mate. This, obviously, at this stage when the king is this cut off, worth looking for a checkmate. So I just checkmate. This would not have been a checkmate straight away because they could block, but then after something like this, I mean, it's going to end up in a checkmate anyway. Just this and checkmate, or there. All right,